Today, we're gonna talk about making of a music video. Let's go! What's going on, guys? Welcome to 2019. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Nathan. Here I talk about photography, videography, of being a family man, and my creative workshops. So recently I've got a chance to do a music video for a friend of ours. And it's such an awesome and fun experience, and I'm super excited because I get to share with you what went well, what needs to be improved, and how I overcame some of the obstacles. So if you guys are a long time filmmakers and have been making a lot of music videos, perhaps you could give me some pointers. And if you are new to the industry or wanted to dabble into the music videos world, if there's something here that you can take away, maybe perhaps learn from my mistakes, that would be pretty awesome. So today we're gonna talk about three main things. Obviously, it's the pre-production, production day, and last but not least, post-production. And by all means, I would like this to be more of a sharing vibe. Like I mentioned before, if you guys are pros at making music videos, drop some comments and give me some tips on how to do better music video. Greatly appreciate it. Pre-production for concept and vision wise. Basically, the beginning of the song talked about why we keep on getting mad at each other, where's the trust, and as it goes along, talked about if it's not due to these promises, I wouldn't have all these dreams and hope. And at the end, it's a call out saying that let me go on my new path to find happiness, to find a place of peace. Honestly, do not take it literal translation, especially for me. I am not the greatest translator in the world or anywhere. It's better if you could find a Vietnamese friend and kind of look up the lyrics for this song and have them translate for you. It's probably a lot better. Anyways, with that, what I had in mind was forest, somewhat earthy, walking on empty roads, that sort of thing, and showing vulnerability. And luckily, I had a pretty good partner.
Hey, stop looking at porn.
Oh gosh.
She's very creative, and so she dug through a couple of music videos and we agreed on how it should be. Another thing I completely forgot to mention is communication is very important. So before all of this, before I even pitched my concept, obviously I asked the client what their vision or how do they like their videos. And most of the time, a lot of clients, they don't know how they want the video to be like. So the best way, the way I did it is I asked her to send me a couple of music videos that she liked. So that way I can kind of get the vibes of the mood, you know, just a general idea of how they perceive a music video or how they perceive what a music video should look like. And that helps a lot. So that helped me a lot. And so after we've decided on the concept, location is pretty much given. Here in Georgia, there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of farms and empty roads, dirt roads, and so we got in contact with a good friend of ours, and also thanks Long for providing us with the location. The third thing is gear, and you know that's the thing. As soon as we know exactly how we want the video to be like and we got down the location, gears are pretty much given. For this particular shoot, I've decided to go with the A7RIII. Attached to that is the G Master 24-70, and I rocked that the entire time. I didn't have to change lens or anything. Definitely put that G Master to a very good use. And I also filmed the entire thing in 4K 24 frames per second. I did not switch to 120 at all, because obviously if I did switch it to 120, it wouldn't be 4K, it would be 1080p. Yeah, I could upscale it in post, but for the sake of this video, I've decided to challenge myself and not fall into that slow-mo that everybody's doing, and just stick with 24 frames per second and try to keep it as smooth as possible. And talking about smoothness, I brought with me the Ronin S, which worked out really well. There were a little bit of a hiccup in terms of balancing, maybe just a little bit, and perhaps again maybe it's just me not knowing how to balance it correctly. I felt that it was straining the motor just a little bit, and as you can see here, it kind of wobbled a little bit, and I'm not sure if that's just me not knowing how to balance it or not knowing how to hold the gimbal. Still new to this whole gimbal thing. I usually do things handheld. Okay, moving on to production day. So on the day of, we scattered out the locations to pick out key spots for the A-roll and a couple of scenes for the B-rolls. The good news is we found some pretty epic scenes. They were just perfect. The not so good news is we've just finished looking up locations and scouting out places, and it's gonna be tough because it seems like it's extremely windy. It's about 20-something degrees outside, and our main subject is gonna be extremely cold, and it's really sunny as well. We realized that it's almost noon. Y'all know what that means. Harsh light, raccoon eyes. The client is down. We say let's roll with it. So it's a go. And of course, we have to align ourselves and get all of our expectations out on the table by using a very creative tool. It allows us to precisely express our intentions and expectation in the most creative way. I'm not going to go into details for the sake of keeping this video relevant. However, you can drop a comment below and ask me any questions about it, and I'll be more than happy to answer you. So we headed out to our first location. It's a very beautiful field. However, due to the harsh sun, we used a reflector to create shades for the main subject. What I could have done differently is stripped out that deflector so that it becomes this soft box that would probably create a much more pleasing highlights and shadows on the subject's skin tone. And I'm filming in 24p. I also wanted the aperture to be as wide as possible, which is 2.8, to keep the separation between the subject and the background. You have to have the variable ND filter. It will save your life. Then we took a little break in between, and I was hoping to catch that nice sunset. And that's another thing, sunset very fast. I had literally a 20-minute window, and honestly, in a filming situation, that wasn't enough. So the biggest takeaway for me on a production day is timing. Timing is so important. For this particular music video, it wasn't too elaborate. There weren't a lot of people involved. So therefore, things can move quickly and you can adjust things right on the spot without affecting other people. However, if I did have more time, I would probably do 2 days shoot. I would have gotten more usable footages, like just B-rolls. That's probably the biggest takeaway for me. And another thing is to always nail your exposure to the best of your ability. That would help you tremendously in post. And talk about post, let's moving on to post-production. Once I have imported all the files, I first stack them all up and pick out the best part. Sometimes what I would do is have two, and I would just compare back and forth between the two to see which one has a better angle, composition, lighting, etc. I would put that in the final timeline. Oh, and another thing that I challenged myself with this time is I've decided to go with hybrid log gamma HLG3. For the entire shoot, everything was filmed in 4K HLG3. The only other difference is I actually used the EOSHD picture profile, the log profile, and I switched the S-Log2 and put the HLG3 in. If you guys use the EOSHD, you know what I'm talking about. I've decided to go with that because yes, I kind of want to venture out and try something different. But at the same time, I am so familiar with the EOSHD S-Log profile that I do want to have a little bit of security in that sense, but also give myself some room to color grade. You guys let me know the footage, ungraded and graded, and add a little bit of LUT in there as well. Let me know if you think the color grading is okay. I do care a lot about skin tones, so I mainly focus on the skin tone first and then everything else around it. I actually wanted to grade this video a little bit unsaturated and mute some of the colors to give it a little more earthy tone. However, with the lighting situation and the dress and her skin tone, in the end I felt that this is a lot more suitable. And that's the reason why we shoot in a flat profile, so that in post we have some wiggle room to work with. And another thing I forgot to mention earlier in this video is the white balance. I manually set the white balance to around 5600K. It's just a ballpark, just so that I would have a much more consistent look throughout the whole day. and I can fine tune a little bit in post, versus if I were to leave it in auto white balance, the camera will try to detect what's the best white balance, and sometimes it would shift the tint as well. That's very difficult to adjust in post. And I'll put a link up here because recently I've watched a video from Gerald Undone. He did a very thorough video, informative about white balance for videos. And that concluded our BTS video. Thank you so much guys for sticking around. I just want to be as informative as possible and share with you everything I've learned throughout the whole process. And hopefully you find it useful somehow, and if you do, please hit that like button or drop a comment, let me know. It would definitely motivate me to create more BTS videos. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well and turn on that notification when I upload a new video, which I should do more often. Anyway, make an amazing month, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.